Foods high in salt, the silent enemy of blood vessels. As people enter their senior years, they hope for a peaceful, healthy life, gently savoring every moment with family and loved ones. However, this simple dream is often threatened by seemingly harmless things, and among them, salt is one of the most dangerous, silent enemies that many are unaware of. Salt, a familiar seasoning in daily meals, is not only what adds flavor to dishes, but also directly affects human health. Especially for the elderly, salt becomes even more dangerous due to its ability to cause severe damage to the circulatory system, blood vessels, and brain. As the body ages, organs no longer function as efficiently as before. Blood vessels become fragile, vessel walls weaken, kidney function gradually declines, and the ability to excrete sodium from salt also decreases. This leads to salt accumulation, causing high blood pressure, a leading risk factor for stroke. The effects of salt do not occur instantly. This is the scariest part. It doesn't cause pain or obvious symptoms. But silently, day by day, salt increases pressure on blood vessel walls, causing the vessels to harden. Blood circulation becomes difficult, leading to blockage or rupture of brain blood vessels. A prolonged excess of salt is the reason why millions of elderly people face cerebral vascular accidents, a condition that can steal their ability to move, speak, or even their lives. What is unfortunate is that while many people are cautious about oils, sweet sugars, or cholesterol, they are often complacent about salt. They don't realize that salt is present in many familiar foods, not just the salt sprinkled on meals, but also hidden in fish sauce, soy sauce, processed foods, canned foods, cold cuts, pickles, dried seafood, and even bread, cheese, snacks, and many other packaged seasonings. Therefore, one can consume double or even triple the recommended amount of salt without even knowing it. For the elderly, controlling the amount of salt in their diet is not just advice, but one of the vital principles of survival. Simply maintaining an appropriate amount of salt, a maximum of 5 grams per day, can significantly reduce the risk of dangerous diseases such as high blood pressure, stroke, heart failure, kidney failure, and even complications related to diabetes. Reducing salt does not mean reducing happiness at the dining table. On the contrary, it is a way to prolong healthy years, to offer more opportunities for conversation, laughter, and to live fully with loved ones. By gradually reducing the habit of eating salty foods, favoring steamed or boiled dishes, choosing fresh food over packaged products, and using diluted dipping sauces instead of directly salty ones, all of these small changes can make a huge difference to the health of the elderly. A person's life does not lie in grand gestures, but starts with simple things like a meal with just the right amount of flavor, a healthy diet, and a heart that is properly protected. In the journey of preserving health for our loved ones, do not let salt, a dangerous yet invisible enemy, silently take away what is most precious. Act starting today. Begin with one less spoon of salt, a small change in eating habits, because blood vessels need to be protected, because the heart needs care, and because the person you love deserves many more years of health and peace. Fried foods, high in oil, the shortcut to arteriosclerosis. There are things that attract us not because of necessity, but because of the fleeting pleasure they bring. Fried foods are one of those. The smell of hot oil, the golden color, the crispy crunch on the tongue, all seem like the simple joy of a meal. But behind that allure is a very high price that the body, especially the body of the elderly, must silently pay every day. As we age, all organs in the body gradually lose their function. The heart weakens, the liver no longer works efficiently, the kidneys filter slower, and blood vessels begin to lose their elasticity. It is during this time that consuming foods high in saturated fat, oils that have been repeatedly fried, and high levels of bad cholesterol pushes the heart, brain, and circulatory system closer to the fragile boundary between life and dangerous complications. Fried foods not only contain a large amount of empty calories, but also generate harmful compounds such as acrolein, aldehyde, and oxidants that cause inflammation in the veins, damaging the blood vessel walls. Over time, they lead to arteriosclerosis, where fatty layers build up on the vessel walls, narrowing the blood flow space, making it harder for blood to circulate, forcing the heart to work harder, and significantly increasing the risk of blockages, heart attacks, or strokes. Especially for the elderly, a blocked blood vessel is not just a fleeting chest pain. It can be the beginning of long days of immobility, endless physical therapy sessions, restless nights by the sound of a respirator, and silent goodbyes. Each time food is dipped into the sizzling hot oil, it is like adding another heavy stone to a heart already weakened by time. What is concerning is that fried foods are not just the main dish. They sneak into every corner of the modern menu, from a rushed breakfast with fried donuts to snacks like fried potatoes, spring rolls, fried chicken, or even seemingly light dishes like breaded cakes or fried tofu. All are shortcuts leading to the faster aging of the circulatory system. The truth is, the older we get, the more we need to avoid greasy foods, because the body no longer has the ability to process excess fats as it once did. Bad cholesterol accumulates more in the blood, and the liver and kidneys can't excrete it quickly enough, and the consequences will no longer stop at test results. They will become real chest pain, arrhythmia, or the distant look when the legs no longer have the strength to walk. But that does not mean that old age must be lived in deprivation and monotony. A gentle, light meal, low in fats, can still be rich in nutrients, colorful, and flavorful. Choose methods like steaming, boiling, baking, or pan searing without oil. Add greens, fresh fish, nuts, and drink plenty of water. This is not just a change in eating habits, but an investment in the healthy, independent, and happy years of old age spent with children and grandchildren. Don't let a tasty fried dish today become a burden for the body tomorrow. Don't let the fleeting attraction turn into long lasting pain. Love yourself and your loved ones by saying no to greasy foods, because that is the simplest way to keep the heart beating strongly, blood vessels clear, and life continuing smoothly, peacefully, just as it should be. Red meat, organ meat, too much protein isn't always good. In the minds of many, meat is a symbol of abundance, warmth, and nutrition. A meal with a thick piece of red meat, tender beef stew, or a plate of fried liver, heart, and kidney is often considered a nourishing meal, a sign of care for one's health, especially for the elderly. However, few realize that behind the glamorous image of nutrition, there is a hidden danger, where excess protein and nutrients become a double edged sword, silently eroding the health of the elderly every day. Red meat, such as beef, pork, and lamb, and organ meats, such as liver, heart, kidneys, and intestines, are foods high in protein, often accompanied by large amounts of saturated fats and cholesterol. Over time, when these components accumulate in the body, they are not fully metabolized, instead, beginning to build up on the walls of blood vessels, leading to arteriosclerosis, making blood circulation difficult, increasing blood pressure, and putting pressure on the heart and vital organs. For the elderly, whose digestive, metabolic, and excretory systems are weakened, it is even harder to eliminate these excess substances. The liver no longer filters toxins as efficiently. The kidneys struggle to excrete uric acid and urea from protein breakdown. This can easily lead to conditions such as high uric acid causing gout, kidney failure, fatty liver, blood lipid disorders, and cardiovascular diseases. Moreover, the bad cholesterol from organ meats contributes to the increased risk of cerebral artery blockages, the leading cause of strokes in the elderly. Many people believe that the elderly need to be nourished in order to build strength, so they intentionally add more meat to their meals. However, they do not realize that the protein needs of the elderly are lower than those of younger people. What the elderly need is not a large amount of protein, but high quality, easily digestible protein, which can be found in fish, soybeans, nuts, dairy products, and vegetables. A diet too rich in red meat and organ meats not only fails to improve the health of the elderly, but also pushes them closer to illness, like a sweet trap of uncontrolled excess. Old age requires gentleness, not only in spirit, but also in diet. A simple yet balanced meal, a portion that is just enough but healthy, will be the foundation for a strong heart, clear blood vessels, and a sharp mind. Reducing red meat, limiting organ meats, and increasing the intake of vegetables, fish, and whole grains is not about deprivation, but an act of love and awareness for oneself and those we cherish. Remember, excess nutrients do not equal good health. Too much protein is not necessarily good, especially for those who have lived through half their lives. Caring for the elderly is not about feeding them more, but helping them eat properly. Because one day, what remains in the memories of old age will not be the taste of a meal full of meat, but the feeling of being healthy, light, and living fully surrounded by loved ones. Processed foods, tasty but dangerous. In an increasingly fast paced world, people are becoming more reliant on convenience. Prepackaged foods, pre seasoned meals, foods that only need to be reheated in a few minutes, these are slowly replacing home cooked family meals. They're quick, convenient, flavorful. But what many fail to realize is that behind this convenience and tastiness, there lurks a significant danger, especially for the health of the elderly. Processed foods, from sausages, bacon, cold cuts, canned fish, instant noodles, to frozen meals, are industrially processed with a series of preservatives, additives, flavor enhancers, and large amounts of salt and saturated fats. All of these, when consumed daily, do not disappear but accumulate little by little, meal by meal, silently wreaking havoc on the already weakened organs of the elderly. As people age, their digestive system is no longer as flexible as in their youth. The liver and kidneys become weaker, the excretory system slows down, and the ability to detoxify decreases. Therefore, when consuming foods high in chemicals, unhealthy fats, sodium, and hidden sugars, the body is almost overloaded. What can be digested is processed slowly, and what cannot be digested becomes a burden for the liver, kidneys, heart, and blood vessels. When the organs can no longer bear the pressure, the consequences appear under frightening names: high blood pressure, diabetes, arteriosclerosis, stroke, kidney failure. The danger of processed foods not only lies in their ingredients, but also in their addictive nature. Artificially designed flavors trick the senses of fullness, making people eat more without feeling full. The strong aroma of an instant noodle pack, a chewy sweet sausage, or crispy snacks can make the elderly, who already have a diminished sense of taste, crave more. But it's a double edged sword that leads them further into dependency on unhealthy foods. Sadly, many do not realize that convenience of today is silently trading away healthy years for future sickness, medication, and even hospital stays. This convenience is temporary, and the tastiness is just a pretty shell hiding the unimaginable effects that are creeping into every blood vessel, every cell, every breath of those who have crossed the downhill side of life. Old age doesn't require lavish meals, fancy dishes, or industrial food. What the elderly need are fresh, clean, simple meals that are nutritious and healthy. A bowl of vegetable soup, a bowl of hot rice, a bit of steamed fish, a glass of water. These simple things are the best natural medicine for both the body and mind. It's the way to keep the heart beating steadily, the mind sharp, the legs strong, and the smiles still blooming despite the years. Remember, convenience is not always the best choice, and tastiness does not equate to safety. If you love your elderly family members or yourself, start by choosing food wisely. Choose the slower but more sustainable path. Choose meals cooked by hand, not packaged by machines. Choose a healthy life, not a quick fix in a fleeting moment. Because every day we choose what to feed our bodies, we are deciding the future of our own lives. Sugar, the sweet killer in disguise. Humans are born with an attraction to sweetness. It's the taste of indulgence, of reward, of joy, and sometimes the taste of childhood memories. But that very sweetness, if left unchecked, can become one of the quietest and most dangerous causes of health deterioration, especially for the elderly. Sugar is not only found in candies, soft drinks, or crunchy cookies. It lurks in every corner of modern life, from canned fruit juices, condensed milk, dipping sauces, to even savory foods that seem harmless but contain significant amounts of sugar. Older adults with their diminishing taste buds are even more drawn to sweet flavors, a feeling that is pleasant, easy to eat, and can alleviate the constant fatigue they may experience. But behind that sweetness lies the shadow of a silent killer that is slowly damaging blood vessels, the liver, kidneys, and the nervous system. When blood sugar levels remain high for extended periods, the body becomes insulin resistant, a hormone that normally helps regulate blood sugar. When insulin no longer functions properly, sugar starts to wander through the bloodstream like a silent toxin. It sticks to the walls of blood vessels, causing them to harden and narrow, reducing the ability to deliver blood to the heart and brain. That's when dangerous complications begin to emerge: high blood pressure, heart attacks, strokes, retinal damage, kidney failure, and even limb necrosis. In older adults, all of these processes occur faster and more severely. Their bodies no longer have the resistance they once had. The kidneys are weak now, overburdened with the task of eliminating excess sugar. The heart is tired, now struggling to pump thick blood full of glucose. The brain, already slower, becomes more confused as the blood vessels that nourish it begin to clog. It all starts with a seemingly harmless habit: frequent consumption of sweets. The danger is that sugar doesn't cause immediate pain. There are no headaches, dizziness, or clear symptoms that make people realize the harm it's causing. For this reason, it's called the silent killer. By the time people know it, often too late: blurred vision, numb legs, declining memory, severe kidney damage. And from there, the long journey begins, full of medications, tests, and tiring hospital stays, days that the elderly should have spent in peace and comfort. But this can change, starting with awareness. Older adults don't need to completely avoid sweets, but they need to choose sweetness wisely. Natural sugars from fresh fruits, whole grains, and vegetables are much healthier than refined sugar or industrial fructose syrup. It's important to make the habit of reading food labels, gradually reducing sugar when cooking, replacing sugary drinks with water or herbal tea, and choosing fruits over candy after meals. Every small change today will be a strong step for health in the future. Every wise choice is a great gift to give yourself when old age arrives. Because in the end, the sweetest thing in life isn't a piece of candy or a sugary drink. It's a body healthy enough to take walks in the afternoon sun, a mind sharp enough to converse with grandchildren, and a heart strong enough to beat steadily all the way through life. Alcohol, the sweet poison that can rupture your blood vessels at any moment. We often hear about the joyful parties, the moments spent with friends and family, and the toasts of wine and beer celebrating health and success. Alcohol, with its familiar image in social life, has become an inseparable part of many cultures. However, few are aware that beneath its sparkling surface, alcohol is a silent enemy, especially for the elderly, making blood vessels more fragile, leading to strokes, accidents, and even death in the blink of an eye. When we drink alcohol, the body immediately absorbs a harmful substance called ethanol. This is the main ingredient in alcoholic beverages, and once inside the body, ethanol not only damages the liver and kidneys, but also alters the physiological functions of blood vessels. For the elderly, these effects are even more pronounced. The circulatory system is no longer as strong as it was in youth. Blood vessels are weak, prone to blockages, and sometimes all it takes is a small impact to cause them to rupture, resulting in dangerous strokes. Alcohol raises blood pressure, a key factor in the development of arteriosclerosis, which makes blood vessels brittle and prone to rupture. Every time alcohol is consumed, blood pressure can spike suddenly, increasing the risk of a stroke. Those with a history of cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, or older adults with frail bodies are even more susceptible to these dangerous complications after consuming alcohol. And when alcohol not only raises blood pressure but also weakens nerve cells, it's no surprise that the elderly may suffer from memory loss and neurodegenerative disorders. However, the damage caused by alcohol doesn't only lie in its effect on blood pressure or blood vessels. It's an invisible enemy attacking the overall health of the elderly. Sometimes, even a mild intoxication, though not obvious, is a sign of the body's weakening. Older adults drinking alcohol not only face the dangers of cardiovascular diseases, but also the accidents due to loss of balance and coordination, a consequence of drinking during festivities or social gatherings. Additionally, long-term alcohol consumption leads to nutrient deficiencies. Alcohol reduces the body's ability to absorb vital vitamins and minerals, especially vitamin B1, which is crucial for the nervous system, making older adults more prone to neurological issues, memory problems, and fatigue. Nevertheless, some older individuals believe that a daily glass of wine helps them relax, reduces stress, or even benefits cardiovascular health. However, research shows otherwise. Alcohol is not a good method to protect heart health. In fact, it's one of the biggest risk factors for the elderly. Each sip of alcohol may seem harmless, but if left unchecked, it can become the source of dangerous complications. Therefore, instead of seeking relaxation in a glass of alcohol, older adults should find other ways to keep their minds sharp and bodies healthy. Light exercise, joyful conversations, and simple daily activities are the true gifts for long term health. Old age is a time when the body requires special care, not only from food, but also from lifestyle habits. A healthy life doesn't need alcohol or beer. It needs gentleness, peace, and wise choices in both food and lifestyle. When we love our elderly loved ones, we're not only helping them live longer, but also helping them live healthier and happier every day. Let's abandon harmful habits and replace them with choices that protect health. Because only when the body is strong, the blood vessels are resilient, and the heart beats steadily, can we truly enjoy the most precious things in life. The silent shortage of vegetables, a hidden factor leading to strokes. Vegetables, with their vibrant colors and fresh flavors, are well known as a source of essential fiber, vitamins, and minerals for the body. However, in today's fast paced modern life where everything moves quickly and busily, vegetables are often neglected in the diet of the elderly. People may consume plenty of other food groups like meat, fish, and starches, but often forget that the lack of vegetables in their meals can lead to a range of illnesses and dangerous conditions. Vegetables are not just a garnish on the plate, they are a crucial source of nutrition that helps the body function efficiently. They provide vitamins A, C, E, and K, along with minerals like magnesium, potassium, and calcium, all of which help support the immune system, maintain bone health, and reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Particularly, vegetables are rich in fiber, which improves digestion, lowers bad cholesterol, and helps keep blood pressure stable. Without enough vegetables, the body suffers from a deficiency of these essential nutrients, making it harder for organs to function properly, increasing the risk of various health problems. For the elderly, the digestive system is often less efficient than before. A lack of fiber makes it difficult for the body to eliminate waste and toxins, leading to chronic constipation, which raises the risk of hemorrhoids, colitis, and other intestinal issues. Furthermore, the lack of fiber from vegetables can increase cholesterol levels in the blood, leading to plaque buildup in blood vessels, causing arteriosclerosis, and increasing the risk of strokes, heart attacks, and other cardiovascular diseases. Additionally, the absence of vegetables leads to a deficiency in vitamin K, a crucial vitamin for blood clotting. Without enough vitamin K, the body struggles to regulate blood clotting, increasing the risk of uncontrolled bleeding. Moreover, the lack of vitamin C, which is found in many vegetables like kale, spinach, and bok choy, reduces the body's ability to heal wounds and maintain a strong immune system. What's more concerning is that elderly individuals often eat less vegetables because their sense of taste diminishes, and vegetables may no longer be as appealing as before. However, this leads to a deficiency in essential nutrients, causing significant impacts on overall health. This silent deficiency slowly attacks the body's organs, weakening the functions of the heart, liver, kidneys, and especially the brain. When blood vessels become weak due to a lack of nutrients, strokes, accidents, and other serious illnesses are more likely to occur. Incorporating more vegetables into one's diet doesn't have to be difficult. Green leafy vegetables like spinach, cabbage, water spinach, amaranth, or root vegetables such as carrots, pumpkins, and sweet potatoes can all be easily cooked into delicious, easy to eat meals that are readily absorbed by the body. A bowl of vegetable soup, a plate of mixed vegetables, or steamed veggies can help the elderly gain the essential nutrients they need to keep their bodies healthy, blood vessels strong, and immune systems ready to fight disease. Therefore, if you love your elderly loved ones, don't forget to remind them to add a serving of vegetables to their meals every day. This isn't just about caring for their meals, but about taking care of their long term health. A diet rich in vegetables helps maintain health, prevent dangerous diseases, and most importantly, ensures that they enjoy a healthy, happy life in their later years.